I never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing. Go.
Hello there. We are going to do an unboxing and upgrade of this internal filter by Hailea. In other countries, it is sold under the brand name Superfish, but I see that it is essentially from the same manufacturer. This filter has a flow rate of up to 500 liters per hour, and it is 24.5 centimeters in height. In Singapore, you could get it for around $25. From my checks with local fish shops, it is around this price range. Inside the box, it actually comes wrapped in bubble wrap, but I've opened it previously. So there is an extension pipe with some holes which allows the water to be dripped from a height and create aeration bubbles. And you can see that described in this diagram on the box. There is also a user manual, and just for information, this series of filter actually comes in different sizes. So the RP-600 model is claimed to be suitable for 250 liter to 400 liter tank sizes. It has a nozzle that can be adjusted sideways by a large angle. It adheres to the aquarium wall by way of 4 suction pads, and the filter has 2 large chambers, and all the water is coming in through this set of vents on the right side, and it flows in the direction to the left through the port in between the 2 chambers, and then up to the pump, and then out through the vent at the top of the pump. There is no other way for water to enter the second chamber, where the bioactive media would most likely be placed. I will now remove the filter chambers from the rest of the housing, and it does seem a bit challenging to remove, and I suppose that this will mean that it's going to be a bit difficult to remove it when it's in the water. So what I can see is a silicone seal at the interface between the filter chamber and the pump assembly, and so presumably no water will be able to enter into the pump assembly unless it had came through the filter chambers initially. So it seems that the impeller cannot be removed or accessed from the bottom of the pump, but would require additional disassembly of this housing to get to. I will now open the filter chamber assembly, and I remove the back housing. I do not intend to use these original filter media, but let's just have a look at it. There are 2 identical blue coarse foam pad pieces, and I also see this white cylindrical piece of material here, but I don't recommend to use it because I've seen reviews that do not recommend to use it as well. Instead, I would put in my own bioactive media instead. So when we look at the wall in between the 2 chambers, we can see 3 vents where the water would be allowed to flow through from the first chamber into the second chamber. I will take a look at the originally supplied foam pads. These are of medium coarseness with a cavity in the middle, and inside it, it's some activated charcoal material, and I'll put that aside. and I'll just see the second one to confirm that it is actually the same medium, and yes, it is. So according to reviews online I've seen, it's not recommended to use this medium, and instead there are other media that have been proposed, and so I will use that instead. So I managed to find these set of sponges that cost $2 at Hailea Aquarium in Clementi, and there is a coarser and a finer sponge inside, and the best part is that these are reusable sponges, so I could wash them in aquarium water and it will be reset and ready to use again. So it's just too big now, but what I'll do is I will cut it down to size, and I would have spare to use in another situation where I need to replace the sponge instead. And it will be perfect for the first chamber. You can see that the thickness happens to be just right. I also earlier purchased some biogravel. This cost me $5.50 as well at Hailea Aquarium, and the quantity is more than enough for a couple of small filters. So what I've already done is actually I already washed them beforehand, because this is the second time I'm using these filters. I actually reset them and cleaned them. But before using it for the first time, I would recommend to wash it, because inevitably there would be some powder due to rubbing during transportation, and I don't want that to end up clogging the filter media or just sitting around in the water column. So everything is now in place. And you can see two grades of reusable sponge. I also added the replaceable floss pad. So this is the finest of all the pads, and typically I wouldn't reuse it. I would get a new one, so I bought it in bulk. And then the majority of the chamber is occupied by the bioactive material. I have seen some pictures or videos of people who put in cylindrical biomedia, or even cut up some straws into the space here to catch any larger particles, but I didn't think that it was going to be necessary. And since it is a solid material that they are placing in there, then this would not wash so easily, and I decided not to do it. But if I wanted to put something into the space, it would probably be a more coarser sponge. I've also seen that sold at the local fish shops, and however they are sold in larger sizes, so I decided not to get it, and we'll just go and see how this works. If I find that I have to clean the filter far too often, and I do see that there are larger particles being trapped, maybe I will put in the coarser sponge in the future, but not for now. I'm just going to be leaving this space empty. And so you can see that this is how the water is going to be traveling, and I will then close it up. Now, as you can see, there are no gaps. But what I might caution is not to put too much media, especially the compressible ones, because there are large gaps between the section that grips the back panel to the chamber housing, and so the panel might flex, and that would be an unintended source of water ingress into the filter medium from the wrong areas. And with that, it looks good on my end, so I'm going to put this into the aquarium.